Welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the hosts this afternoon, Michael, followed by other host and cultured corner connoisseur, Sage.
That's me.
And we actually have culture to talk about today.
Yeah!
I think it's been a
long
year.
A long time since we've done like a proper cultured corner.
I don't think the entirety of this episode will be culture, but we do have culture.
Yeah, we were just talking about it before we started recording, and in my brain, I had such a distinct memory come into my brain of like what I am pretty sure the first time I ever saw like doujin, hentai, any like porn, if you will, right?
Of any regard?
Of any regard.
Oh,
Because
your first porn was not even human porn?
Because I was pretty young. I think I was like 10.
Oh.
I was like 10 or 11. So it's
fairly young, but the internet also existed. So
it did, but like you have to realize when I was growing up, I didn't really like we only had one computer, which was like this shitty piece of shit like Dell laptop.
Uh-huh.
And then, but my brothers were always using it because they had like Roller Coaster Tycoon and like Diablo and like games that they would play on it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I started using the computer. Like after the Dell laptop, we got a desktop set up and I would use that computer, but it was like to play dress up games.
Right.
Okay. Because I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what there was so many too. It was great. There were these Korean ones. They were all in Korean. And they were the best ones, okay? They just had the best clothes, the best looking girls. Like, it was great.
Right.
But anyway, because I was a little kid and stupid and I didn't understand how, like, the internet worked and that there were things like websites, because I would not go in and type in a website. I would go into Google, type in what I wanted to search, and then click the website that I knew I wanted instead of just typing in the website.
Right.
So I used to do this thing when I was, like... Actually, I think I did it into like probably 6th grade. So probably from like 4th grade to 6th grade, where I would just go and use Google Images as a website on its own, if that makes sense. Like, yes, that exists, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't use it as like a source for things.
Right.
You just do it to like, oh, let me Google Images so you can see what I'm talking about, but like not to like scroll through it.
Right.
So way back in the day on Google Images 1 was not a forever scroll. It was pages.
Yeah.
And I think there was maybe like 50 images per page.
Yeah, around there.
And you couldn't click on the image and it would pop up on the side, but you stay on the page at this time. Like you clicked on the image, you were clicking on whatever website it was on.
Yeah.
And so when I want to say like 10 years old, I was in the like height of my like Naruto obsession. I was really into yes, I had to have been like 10 or 11 because this is just before I started getting into Twilight.
Okay.
Which was when I was 12.
Right.
So I was like 10 or 11 and I would go onto Google Images and I would type in like Sakura from Naruto to see like fan art and stuff. Or I would do like Naruto and Hinata or like whatever the ships were.
Right.
And I remember one time I was looking at like Sakura and Sasuke ship like fan art because I was a little kid and stupid and I did not realize that that's a horrible relationship.
Right. Uh-huh.
But so I was like, okay, Sakura and Sasuke, right? And I was going through Google Images by the page and I shit you not, I think I got up to like page like 30 pages deep into Google Images.
Surprised it took that long.
So I got like 30 pages into Google Images and I just see like a little like blurry grainy photo, but it looked like it was something cute. So I was like, oh, let me click on it to like see the photo better. And I remember being so shocked because it was, I think it was a picture fan art of Sasuke and he was wearing like a silky robe. But it wasn't like genitals were showing. It wasn't like really explicit. But when you're 10, that's raunchy, okay?
Right.
So I was like, holy shit, like this is a lot. So then I'm like, next 20 pages. I get to page like 50 of Google Images. And I see like full nude, like Sakura and Sasuke. And I was so shocked. I didn't know what to do. And I was just like, how do I go away from this? I got to click away. So I clicked away. And I like didn't think about it for a long time. And then I think maybe like a year later, I was like, I wonder if that, because of that picture just like popped up in my head. And I was like, can I find that picture again? Sometimes I try to do that, find things that I like remember from my childhood online, which is really hard to do. Okay. Because that's just lost media at this point. It's gone forever.
Well,
it's not gone forever, but like to find it again would be a task.
Yeah.
So I tried to find it again, but instead now I'm on Google Images again, Sakura and Sasuke. And I was trying to remember how far back I was into Google image pages. And I like randomly clicked like page 25 or whatever. And it was not the same picture, but another like nude fan art of Sakura and Sasuke. And this time I was like, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to see where this leads me. So I click on it. And then all these pop-up ads, like, you know when you're on a website and there's like ads on the side?
Yeah.
But it used to be instead of ads on the side, they would literally just pop up on your screen. And it was like a million of them. And I got so freaked out because I remember I was on my brother's laptop because he had gotten a Mac laptop, an Apple laptop, which was like when they were like the white ones, but they were like, ooh, look how sleek.
Yeah.
And they're like 30 fucking pounds. And I remember I was on my brother's laptop because he was like, oh, yeah, you can use my laptop. I'm not going to be home. And I was like, woohoo, you know, to play my dress-up games because I'm super mature. And a million pop-up ads came up on the screen. And I was freaking out. And I was like, am I going to give my brother, like, his computer a virus? Is he going to know? And I also didn't know what history was. Which
we found out.
I don't know because he never said anything to me.
I feel like as a brother, you would never bring it up.
Like, he never said anything to me. And I don't think I even realized what history was until I was like, maybe when I was 12, I realized what history was.
I mean, if I were him, I'd probably never have brought it up.
No, I could
I wouldn't
not
bring
imagine.
that up to my little sister. I don't have one, but I can't imagine I would.
I feel like even if I had like a younger brother, I would not be ousting him like that.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be like, you'd open your history, you'd see it, and just be like,
Look.
I wish this wasn't on my thing that they decided to use this on. Just erase history.
Yo, I remember when I was like 13 or 14, I was upstairs and I think I was watching TV or something. And I'm sitting on the couch and I like shifted a little and I was like, why is the couch so like hard and uncomfortable today? What is going on? So I took up the cushion to see what was underneath it. And it was just like a row of porno DVDs. And at this point, I was like 14 or 13. And I was like, why do they need physical copies of this?
But also,
it's on the
what
internet.
An awful place to put them.
I know, in the like communal couch underneath the couch.
Yeah.
Maybe like we were away previous to this and they just didn't think about like
see that one. I feel like I might be like, hey, yo, hide
no,
this
I didn't.
better.
I never said it. I never said anything because I was like, I get it. Y'all made mistakes, but this was a poor choice on your end.
Yeah, wild. Yeah, no, because I can find some of the things that I originally found because they were all based on shows I was watching or manga I was reading as a kid. And as like a child, I was like, wow, this book I'm reading has like almost titties. I wonder if real titties exist. Typing, and then you know, like pops up and it's like this website. And you're like, what's that? Click porn. And you're like, wow.
I don't know. I feel like if I was a little kid and like, and I was looking for porn, I feel like if I went on Pornhub first, like it's so overwhelming. I guess I don't really remember. Like, I don't know what Pornhub looked like 15 years ago, to be completely honest, because I don't think I even started using Pornhub till I was in college.
I feel like most people I knew were getting on Pornhub pretty early, like early middle school.
Yeah, I feel like that sounds right.
Yeah, it just.
But
like,
do you not feel like you were like overwhelmed?
Not that I remember.
Or were you just like, hell yeah?
Yeah,
boobs.
I think it was mostly that. From what I remember, it was like, yeah, rad titties.
Rad titties.
And then, like, through that, you eventually find out what Bible Black is, because that's, like, the first... Like,
that's
everyone's first hentai.
That's everyone's hentai. Like, if you were born in, like, the mid to late 90s, your first hentai was Bible Black.
Yeah, like, that was, like
the I don't make the rules, it's just true.
Pornhub. And then I remember, like, a website about, like, basically all related to, like, sex-based games.
Oh my god, same. Which I
not gonna say the website's name.
I also remember a website, same concept. I don't know if it's the same, but
I have to imagine if I type that in,
I don't know. There's like
a spam, like a virus site.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. But I remember a website as well with the same like sex-based games thing, and I remember when I was.
There were a lot of Naruto ones on that one, I remember.
I had to have been in high school, and because I already had my own laptop at this point. But I remember being like, I don't understand why I want to play a game with this context. Like, that seems kind of boring.
It wasn't my go-to, but it was there every now and then where I was like, I'm bored.
There was some that were like dating simulators.
Yeah.
And I was like, just for the fun of it, I'll see what the dating simulator is like, you know. But I was like weirdly bad at them, and the girls would get mad at me and then not fuck like the male character.
Right.
And I was like, wow, this is disappointing.
I don't think I ever remember like playing them for the purpose of like getting off. It was more just like
curiosity.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be hard to get off to something like that. Like, doesn't that feel like a lot of work? Do you know what I mean, though?
What I imagine
I don't want to
like,
be thinking about, like, wanting to be suave
what I imagine
with
is
my
like
dick in my hand.
If you're playing, like, you know, a dating sim type thing, it's more like you get to the part where, like, oh, there's the naked woman on screen, and then you just get off to that, I assume.
Look at this still image.
That's what doujins are.
I know, but at least a doujin, you have, like, motion lines and, like, a next page to go to.
I mean, yeah, but like when you're young,
I guess you're like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, like, dude, a pair of
anything
boobs,
will work.
Yeah, anything works as a kid. Like I said, like I would be searched on shows or
right.
Names. So like I was every now and then I'll like look back at them and be like, God, it really was just anything will work because these are such shit quality.
Yeah,
it's like my standards were non-existent.
I even when I was in like probably like high school, late middle school, like probably 8th grade, I would get so mad if I was like going and looking for like doujins and they had the black bar as like the censor option. Because I was like, first of all, you're not censoring anything. Yeah, the bar does nothing except for be a nuisance.
But it's better than the mosaic.
The mosaic is the literal
I'll
worst.
take the black bars. It's obvious. Like the ranking is none.
Uncensored top tier.
Black bars. Then, arguably.
What about like the whiteout? Have you seen that?
That's full censorship, which is the worst. Yeah, that's labeled full censor.
Oh, okay.
Which is the worst. And then either the black bar where it's like the entirety of the thing, or mosaic are somewhere interchangeable. I feel like mosaic might be better because at least you still have shapes.
No, I don't like mosaic because like.
But the full black bar is blocking the entirety of it.
Well, I just that's fair, but the mosaic, in my opinion, it
sucks.
It makes everything look like misshapen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but like I feel like at least you get a shape to it.
True.
More than like just a full black bar that shows nothing.
That's fair. The only time I think I'm okay with like the full censorship is weirdly enough with BLs.
Okay.
I don't know why. Like that's the only time it really doesn't bother me. Maybe because I'm not thinking about it as much. But outside of that one specific context, it annoys me.
Yeah, no, full.
Maybe because also I noticed this In a lot of BLs, maybe they're just the ones I'm reading, but a lot of them, very minimal, like, shading. It's a lot of just, like, line work. So I think, like, it makes it easier to get away with the full censorship.
Because it just kind of feels like it fits.
Everything else is basically just white.
Right.
With line work. So I'm like, my brain can easily, like, let that go because it's not obtrusive.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I'll take black bars any day over any other form of censorship usually.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like it doesn't really do anything.
The black bar annoyed me because it wasn't efficient.
Right, but like
it was just annoying.
Yeah, but like I'll take the non-efficient because that means that I can still
you can still see stuff. Yeah,
like it's always really funny when it's like the black bar is like just over the clit and like one in the middle of the vagina.
Oh my god, that's nothing so else.
Funny. So like you still see everything.
But and it's always like you have like a bar over the clit and then over the vagina, but like horizontal.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's always horizontally.
What? Wouldn't just one big vertical one make more sense?
Yeah, but then you wouldn't see anything.
I mean, yeah, but isn't that the point?
That goes back to the big censor bar problem. So we take the horizontal wins.
Yeah, we take our horizontal useless black bar.
Yeah. And, you know, whenever I'm with a woman, I expect to take their panties down and be like...
And you expect to see the censorship lines?
Yeah, you know.
It's like in Scott Pilgrim where they have like the censor bar when they're cursing.
Yeah.
IRL.
Yeah. You think someone's like tattooed on like for a guy? Like the black
dick?
bars, yeah. I feel like somebody probably did that.
I mean, I guess...
Somebody somewhere.
There's 8 billion people in the world, so I could definitely believe it. But I feel like that would be unbelievably painful.
No, I mean people do tattoo their dicks.
I know, but like that. But you're just doing solid black work. Mm-hmm. Like that sounds horrible. Does your dick have to be hard? I assume so.
I would assume so.
But like, do you think it looks weird? Like, let's say like you got your dick tattooed and it's like Jennifer, right? Like someone's name.
Not Jennifer.
I don't know. That was the first name that came to my mind. But imagine it says like Jennifer, right? Down in a line. But then if your dick is like flaccid, do you just see like JFN? Like it's all scrunched together. You know what I mean? Hello. Did you look up tattooed dicks?
No, I'm looking at how you do it.
The look in your face, I was like, this man definitely just typed into Google tattooed dicks.
The first thing that popped up is that is apparently stretched over a spoon in order for the art to take place. What does that mean?
What?
What does that mean?
Maybe if you're like uncircumcised, they like...
No, I don't think that's what that... No.
I don't know. What good is the spoon doing? Just... What? Do you think that would kill your boner, though, if you did have to be hard?
Because it's meant to stretch the skin, so that when you are hard...
So you do it flaccid?
I guess. I don't imagine how you would stay hard the entire time anyway.
Well, I can't imagine you're doing anything that's, like, takes that long. You're not doing, like, a portrait on your dick.
Yeah, but you're also getting stabbed the entire time, so unless you're into that...
I guess. But, like, I don't know any man that maybe not be into stabbing would be like, yeah, let me tattoo my dick. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have either literally zero real estate left on your body if you're, like, a tattoo enthusiast, or you like getting stabbed. I feel like those are the only two options.
It seems like it's not while you're hard. So.
No, thank you.
Yeah, you're not hard, and it's stretching the skin for the design so that it's right when it is erect. Wild.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. But I will never just. I'm not going down that road, so it won't affect my life.
I mean, samesies, but like, why?
Wait, you don't want to get your full vagina tattooed?
Ouch. No.
I don't even think you can, really.
I feel like you probably can't because, like, you could probably do, like, the exterior.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume you could do what is it, the labia majora? Like, the outer part?
Yeah, like the outer part you could probably do. But I don't know why you would want to do that. But
Why
then
would
again,
people want
like,
to get your dick tattooed? I mean,
but then again, girls do get, like, their clits pierced.
I thought it's the hood.
So you can get the hood done, but you can actually get your clit pierced.
It just seems like immense pain since it is purely nerves.
So I've seen pictures of both. I will say the hood, it actually does look really cute. Like, there was a time in my life where I was like, maybe I'll do it. But then I thought about it for longer than 3 seconds and I was like, maybe I won't do it because that sounds unpleasant. But yeah, no, I've seen it. And actually I knew a girl who had hers done.
The clit or the hood?
The clit.
Oh. And
she said in the moment it was really painful, but she said right after they were done, she was like she was like basically like, because whenever you get pierced anywhere, like the initial pain is there and then you feel like a very like light like not throbbing because that's the wrong word, but like you feel like a distant like soreness, if that makes sense. Okay. Where it's not painful, but like there's like a foreign object now inside your body.
Right.
And usually depending where you're getting pierced, it takes like, I would say anywhere from like an hour at the shortest to like a couple of days to get used to it again. Mm-hmm. Like when I got my septum redone, I had to get used to the feeling of the piercing on my face because it like slightly tickles you.
Right.
But when you're not used to that sensation, I kept thinking it was a bug. And so I would go like this to like wipe or like shoo away, like right at the base of my nose and move the piercing when I wasn't. Oh my God, that would hurt really bad. Don't do that if you get your septum pierced. It is not the move.
So what? She said it was like fine after
Yeah, she said after a day she was like it was fine.
But like it's there.
I know. I feel like maybe because
and I feel like wouldn't it like mess with the hood?
No, because it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. But it's like now there's like an extra space, an extra part to it.
There is, but it's not like the jewelry is very, very small.
So what's the like point? Like, is it a pleasure thing? Does it add more pleasure?
Supposedly it's supposed to make it like even more sensitive because it's like similar, I think, to, this is at least what I've been told, to like nipple piercings, in that because a nipple piercing never fully heals in the way that you think of like an ear piercing, where if I take this out, like you can just see a hole straight through me, but you can see like the tissue is fully healed around the hole. Mm-hmm. But for a nipple piercing, that doesn't happen based on the type of tissue that it is, at least for women. I don't know if this goes the same for men because
pretty sure nipples are all the same though, aren't they?
I'm pretty sure they're all the same, but like men's nipples don't have the same function, if that makes sense.
Right.
So like I don't know if it's because women's nipples have like the specific function that they don't fully heal, or it's just based off the tissue itself. But because of that, like the way it is, it makes it like more sensitive than it would have been on its own. Mm. So the same thing is true when you get like your clit done, or even the hood, because of that like what's this word, like friction that's added on top.
Gotcha.
Of whatever else is happening. She said it was great. She loves it. But
good for her.
I personally, after I thought about it for more than 3 seconds, I was like, you know what? That sounds scary. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's like the people that do Jacob's Ladders or Prince Albert's. No thanks.
Yeah, I've never been with a guy that had a pierced dick. If I ever do, I will let you know. But
for her pleasure. That's what Jacob's Ladders are for.
I know, but I just feel like I feel like I would be weirded out. You know what I mean? Because maybe I'm just too vanilla, but that just seems
I know you.
a bit extreme in my opinion.
I don't know. I mean, like tongue piercings, right? That's for like that's another thing where it's like a thing for the guy more than anything. Well, I guess girls also, but
Yeah.
like that helps boost pleasure.
They have vibrating ones,
Of course they do.
which I mean makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
I would get my tongue pierced. I've always wanted one.
It seems like it'd be really annoying.
The one thing that's actually held me back from getting a tongue piercing is because of the way that your tongue moves inside of your mouth, without you even realizing it, you're always hitting the bottom of your teeth, right? But like you don't feel that sensation because it's always happening.
Right.
But when you have a tongue piercing, a lot of times you have like a metal piercing, and then the ball ends will also be metal, or you could do plastic or silicone. I think at this point, like they have pretty good technology these days for piercings, but back in the day they didn't. Okay,
Right.
It was basically metal, or you got really bad plastic, which you don't really want,
Right.
especially in your mouth. But supposedly, if you have a tongue piercing for a long time, what can happen is the metal ball ends can erode your gum line over time from friction, very slow chipping away at the gum line from the inside of your teeth and your mouth. And actually a girl that I used to watch on YouTube, she had a bunch of piercings, tattoos. She was very experienced in like all of these body modifications and things like that. And she had posted this video about how she had to take her tongue piercing out, and she had it in there for like, I want to say like 8 years, which is a pretty substantial amount of time.
Right.
But she had to take it out because she had gone to her dentist to get like her teeth cleaned or whatever. And the dentist was like, yo, if you don't take this out, like your teeth are going to fall out, because it had eroded so much that like she had like 2 millimeters of gum left on like the interior of the gum line, just from that like slow erosion from the friction. So she had to take it out because he was like, if you don't take it out and like stop the friction, your tooth is going to fall out, and it's a permanent tooth. So your only choice after that is to get like a crown or like a veneer, you know, to replace it.
All right then.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's something you don't even think about. And this, supposedly the same thing can happen with if you get a lip piercing that's through the mouth as opposed to just through the lip, if that makes sense. So if you have it where it's going to be, the interior is going to be touching your gums,
Right.
supposedly the same thing can happen there. Or you can even chip your tooth on it, which I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's something like you don't even consider, you know?
Well, I never really planned on getting piercings anyway, so
But yeah, it was just
I
crazy.
don't think I can really pull them off anyway.
Any piercings?
I mean, I would get, if anything, I would get like an ear piercing, but I don't even really think I could pull it off.
I think you should do like a little cartilage piercing.
Yeah.
That would be cute.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. Yeah, no, I don't know. I will get a tattoo at some point.
Eventually, when you decide on what you're gonna do.
Well, I know I have the decision. It's more just like doing it
Yeah, let's just do it.
at some point.
YOLO. Bring that back.
Yeah, no, at some point I'll probably get around to it. Well, unless we have other topics in the cultured area, we can move on to the other topic that we had.
I think we can move on.
Okay.
You
So
can
you finally watched My Cousin Vinny.
I did.
The greatest movie, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah, so I decided to watch it because I kept seeing it on TV. And I was like, you know what? But every time I saw that it was like playing on TV, it was already like halfway through the movie. And I was like, oh, but I actually want to watch the movie, so I don't want to like start in the middle, you know?
Right.
So then one day I saw it was right at the beginning of the movie, and I was like, oh, great. Let me watch it. So I went to go watch it, but then, of course, because it's on freaking television, and in the United States, heaven forbid you curse on television. All right? Show all the blood and gore you want, but cursing and tits, you're out of here. Okay? So I was like, fuck this. I'm not watching it on regular cable.
TV.
So I was trying to see where it was available on streaming, and then I saw it was on Hulu. So I was like, "Hell's yeah," or whatever it was. Maybe it wasn't Hulu, but I was like, "Yeah, let me watch it." Sat down. I was watching it. It was so funny. Like,
I can quote so much of that movie.
Them like pulling up to this rinky-dink town in like these full leather outfits. I was
awesome.
like, be so for real right now with these outfits. Like,
it's the New York look.
That's the New York look.
That's the Italian New York look.
Yeah. I was
For
like,
the time period, it's pretty accurate.
and then like the outfits actually, like the whole movie were so great. Like,
yeah.
This is right up my alley. This is the right amount of camp for me. But yeah, it was.
Are you making fun of me? What do you mean, Your Honor? That outfit? Are you trying to make? No, Your Honor. The entire store had the flu. I had a suit, got thrown in the mud, so I went to every store, and they were down with the flu. Every store. So I went to this one store that was open, and got this for you.
But
this ridiculous thing for you.
But yeah, it was really funny. And then like every single like hotel or motel they try to stay in, holy shit. Yep. I was like, if that was me, I would actually be losing my shit.
You said that train usually doesn't come at that hour. Well, yeah, it usually comes much earlier.
Yeah. And these two kids, I love how like when they like initially get arrested and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to, like I didn't know I would get in so much trouble, like it was just a can of tuna, like I didn't mean it." And they're like, "The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You murdered someone, I know it."
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, no, they think we murdered someone, man.
Yeah.
Like, they think I'm a murderer and you're an accomplice to a murder.
I also think it's really funny that like when they put them in like the county jail, I'm like, y'all are just gonna let them bunk up in the same room?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And the only time he gets sleep is when he's also in jail.
Yes. He keeps getting he's like, I need you to find me some bail money.
Do the laws of physics cease to exist on your stove? There's so many fantastic moments. It's also a really good legal drama. It's a very accurate legal drama, minus the being able to walk around the court.
Yeah.
A lot of lawyers are like, it's actually also really good.
Yeah, it was a really good movie. I'm trying to think the other like lawyer, the public defense attorney that they try to hire. Oh my god.
Do you think that they match the description of
and then the judge is like, "Can we speed this shit along, my guy? Like, I do not have all day." Yeah, you got it. So I'm like, damn, my guy, how did you become a lawyer in the first place?
He's a public defendant. That don't mean anything. That's not true. Like,
I was gonna say you still have to like get the requirements.
That's why he's a public defendant.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's just like, that movie is so immensely quotable. You got the whole "Imagine You're a Deer" monologue. Quote that. The "Can we throw any more shit about in here? Oh, not to mention your biological clock that's ticking. Can we pile any more shit on top of this?" It's so good. The entire fucking they're sleeping at the cabin, and like the owl that's like screaming, he runs out, just fires the gun.
Fires it at nothing.
Walks back in, it screeches again. And like how he starts solving the case. And like, "Now, Mrs. Riley, and only Mrs. Riley, how many fingers am I holding up?" And then they get Marissa Tomei up on that stage, and she just fucking wrecks shop. "No, the defense is wrong. Are you sure? Yes. Are you positive? Yes. How could you be so sure? Would you like me to explain? I would love to hear this." so would I. It's just.
But yeah, it was a very enjoyable movie.
It's literally one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like top 10 easy, probably top 5.
Yeah, it was really fun. It's just such a like nice like small scale movie.
Right.
And I feel like maybe it's just because I feel like every single movie coming out is like a major blockbuster that I'm like so
miss the mid-tier movies.
like I was actually thinking about this the other day. I'm like, why do we not get like mid-tier level movies anymore?
Like the mid-tier teen movies, the mid-tier any
you
movies,
know what I
they're
mean?
all gone.
Like movies where it's like, okay, you guys had more than $5 to make this movie,
Right.
but you also weren't like, this is an event movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a movie that came out.
You kind of only have indie movies and horror movies doing mid-tier stuff
Yes,
now. And indie movies are usually always odd in some way
Right.
or quirky.
I was gonna say more like a tier.
Yeah, and then horror movies are just still the same. They're all horror movies. So
Yeah.
but like there's no real just mid-tier shit anymore.
Yeah, which is, I feel like it's an unfortunate dying genre. I want mid-tier level movies to come back.
It kind of lost a lot of the steam. There's actually a really good interview with Matt Damon about this, where he's like, a lot of it was just because of streaming services. Because you would make these shitty movies, and they'd be like, why? Like, how do you make the money off this? Like, nobody ever goes to see them. And it's like, well, yeah, but you make it all back in DVD sales.
Right, but there's no more real DVD
So
sales.
no DVD sales meant there's no more reason to make the movies because no one's going to be buying them after the fact.
But I'm surprised that like even the streaming services don't even really do like a mid-tier budget.
I think they do, and nobody just gives a shit because they don't see them because there's so many fucking billions of options on the streaming service. Why would you?
I mean, you're right, but like I've watched a good handful of like, particularly I think like Amazon Prime original movies. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because we have like the Fire Stick in our bedroom, so like those ones get like popped up in like the ad slots at the top, if that makes sense. But even like Amazon Prime, like the mid-tier stuff still seems like the only thing that was mid-tier was the writing. It still seems like you guys spent a lot of money. You just didn't make a good story.
Right. Well, I mean, I feel like films nowadays will probably always look fairly good just because cameras
Maybe
just
maybe
gotten
that's
better.
it. Like the technology is so good that like
Like you can like a camera, like a cheap camera could still look really good.
maybe that's it. That like maybe I just don't know like how expensive something would be based off of like.
I mean, just think about how an iPhone quality versus that from the first iPhone to now in terms of camera quality.
That's true.
I mean, like it's basically just take that, but for films cameras.
That's
even
true.
Low scale stuff will still look fairly good.
I guess that's fair. But yeah, like I just kind of wish mid-tier movies would come back and movies that were like
These were like pretty fucking cheap.
true, but like mid-tier movies where it's not like more slice of life movies, I guess.
Right.
Like that's a genre that weirdly went away.
Yeah, along with like again like
the rom-com is no longer
the
really a
rom-com's
thing.
gone. The teen movie where like what was it called, the University or whatever, like like a lot of the Justin Long movies,
Oh yeah.
like those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Which also led to the death of like finding bands. Because
yeah.
so many bands were like got
my
their
God.
starts from being featured in those movies.
The teen movies. Okay, first of all, those soundtracks bangers.
Yeah.
In the teen movies because a
lot of bands were like that's their
the
start.
studios were like, oh, this up and coming band, you guys want $500? We'll put you in the movie.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, $500.
Yep.
Or however much it is.
Yeah.
But it was like super affordable for them to do it because it's like bands just on like the rise.
Yeah.
But I feel like even the music, like every movie, you either have like major mega stars who are in your soundtrack,
Right.
or you don't have any like songs with singing, so you just get like a major mega like music producer or composer, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like there's no like regular people
right.
in the film industry anymore. That's
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, my cousin Joe, he wanted to be an extra, just throw him in there. Like, we'll pay you $5 to say this line.
Yeah.
Like that level of energy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like the Harold and Kumars, the Justin Longs, those movies are all kind of just dead at this point.
I know, it's really sad.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, it's why the film industry is like in a way struggling, because everything is a make or break. Like either the movie makes money and you're okay, or it doesn't but you spent $1 billion fucking on it and it's not all that good, and so that you lose money. You're just way more susceptible. Like, instead of giving $300 million to one movie, you give $300 million to like 20.
I just don't understand, like,
in terms of separating that $300 million out.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying, but I don't understand why movie studios are like, because at this point I think it's been pretty like an obvious downward trend of like having major blockbuster budgets where you're spending $100 million or more dollars to produce a movie.
Yeah, but it's like gambling. Sure, there's a downward trend, but when it hits, it hits.
But it's for things that I'm like, why did you think this was gonna make you money back? Like,
it's like the Ghostbusters movies, the new ones, where I'm like, these are fine, but you should spend less money on them.
Like like the Fast and Furious movies, I'm pretty sure like Fast 9,
They make so much money though.
but Fast 10 lost so much money because they spent like $200 million to make that movie. How many people are actually that invested in the Fast and Furious franchise?
Quite a lot. It's one of the biggest franchises. Fast X lost money.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Fast X lost money.
I would doubt that.
Or at least when it was like within like the first couple of months, like they were definitely not recouping whatever budget they had on it, because you have to make more.
It made $714 million.
And what was the budget? 250, I think, or 200?
340.
340.
340 million.
So they have to make 2.5 times more than that.
Fast 8 made 1.2 billion. Fast 9 made 726 million. So they did go down. Fast 8 was the biggest, seemingly, but they still made money.
I'm surprised Fast 8 is the biggest and not
1.2 billion dollars.
Because 7 was the send-off for Brian.
Oh, it wasn't listed. 1.5 billion. It is the most.
Okay, I was going to say, I would be really surprised that isn't the most.
Yeah.
Because that's when Paul Walker passed away. So it would make sense for that to be the most money.
Yep. So they do still make a lot of money.
Yeah, but they're not making enough money to cover the cost or come out ahead, if that makes sense.
I mean, technically you assume price of the movie and then you double it for advertising usually.
So that's
like
$680 million.
Yeah, and then
that's obscene.
Yeah.
For a movie.
Yeah. Hey man, you're preaching to the choir here.
Like, I don't know if maybe I'm just me because I don't leave my house. But on the average, I will go specifically to the movie theater to watch a movie and give them my money maybe 5 times for the year.
Oh, no, I go to the movies all the time, but I have A-list.
Right.
And so I kind of have to also make it worth it.
But I'm also not like somebody who's that invested in that many movies, if that makes sense. Like, I have to really want to see this movie to go to a movie theater, because I don't really like the movie theater anyway because it's too loud and I hate that there's people there.
I love the movies except for when people suck.
Which is usually always, unless nobody else is there except for me.
Kieran, and I swear I had such a good movie experience for so long, and then post-COVID, it's been the fucking worst thing on the planet.
Yeah, because now you have everyone and their goddamn mother trying to be obnoxious as fuck.
Yeah, but me, Kieran, and Anthony went to go see Immaculate, which is the horror movie with Sydney Sweeney. Yeah, there we go.
I was like, Sweeney Todd?
Yeah, no, Sydney Sweeney.
It's a spinoff?
Which, by the way, she was fantastic in that movie. It was like a pretty all right movie. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's pretty solid. But she was great.
Okay, she's a good actress.
Yeah, no, like I never really had an opinion of her because I think the first thing I really saw her in was Madam Web.
Okay, I feel like that's not a.
That's why I didn't have an opinion on her.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like that was like the first thing I technically saw her in, which I'm saying doesn't really count. Right. Although I think I wrote in my review for Madam Web, I was like, I have not seen Sydney Sweeney in like anything really, but this role feels really weird for her.
You know what's also really weird? So Sydney, just in Madam Web, because Sydney Sweeney in Madam Web, her character is supposed to be like dorky.
Yep, sure is.
Right?
Yep.
But Sydney Sweeney's physical appearance does not match the dorky description.
To be fair, you can still be hot and be dorky.
I agree. I agree with this sentiment. Hot and dorky, here for it. Uh-huh. However, the movie is like, we need to make Sydney Sweeney, who's a blonde bombshell, look like a stereotypical nerd.
Right.
This is what we'll do. We'll just put her in clothes that are way too big for her and are so unflattering.
Yeah, but to be fair,
and I'm like,
people that don't think they're hot do that.
I mean, yes, but like also it's Sydney Sweeney, and I'm like,
girl
is
really
rocking
funny.
Whole ass watermelons on her chest.
I do think it's really funny though. There was like a Twitter campaign for a hot second after her SNL thing, where people were like, "Can we stop pretending like she has cannons on her chest? Those are not the biggest boobs anyone's ever seen on the planet."
I mean, they're not. But
and people being like, "You want to see fucking massive titties?" And it was usually like a bunch of people just being like, "These are massive titties."
I mean, no, she doesn't have the largest breasts in the world. Obviously not. But she's a fairly petite woman. Like, she has a small frame.
No, she's pretty hot, yeah.
So for her frame, they look even bigger because of her size. And in Hollywood, you don't really see a lot of very large-chested women.
It's true.
Outside of, like, Kat Dennings.
Love Kat Dennings.
Christina Hendricks. Selma Hayek in her younger years where she was more on display.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's not common. So
I don't know why, but I really do like Kat Dennings. Like, not even from like a chesticle standpoint.
She's just so charming.
I like, even I know people like hate her in the MCU too, but I don't know what it is.
Why? I love Darcy. I love Darcy.
So charming. Like,
Darcy's a genius and she knows it.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was. I've never really sat down to watch the show, but I remember my parents used to watch Two Broke Girls, and I used to fucking enjoy her in that too.
Okay, Two Broke Girls, I will say I find extremely obnoxious, but only because it's the same kind of humor as like Big Bang Theory, but make it like not nerdy references.
Right.
And I really hate Big Bang Theory. So
well, yeah, same. But to be fair, I never really sat down to watch that. It was like usually like one of those types of shows where, like, when I was a kid, it used to be like King of Queens, where it was like it was on when we were getting up to eat dinner, and we would just leave it on in the room.
Yeah, it was just like in the background,
kitchen.
but you weren't actively watching it.
And plus, I was young, so like as a kid, I was like, "Wow, she's really hot."
You were like, "Wow, boobs."
Yeah, but I do really like Kat Dennings. I
now.
also follow her on Instagram, and she just seems like a very wholesome human being.
Yeah, she seems very nice, and like
she seems just extremely chill.
Yeah, she seems so cool, and like. I don't know. I don't understand the Darcy hate because I love Darcy.
Yeah. I quite enjoy Darcy.
Like when
she showed up in WandaVision, I was so happy.
When she showed up in WandaVision, I was like, "It's Darcy! I haven't seen you in so long."
Yeah. So if she could just keep showing up in the MCU in like random spots, I'd be so here for it.
I really like.
She should be cashing that money in.
Kat Dennings is one of those actresses that I'm like, I really am waiting for her to kind of get that like big role for herself and for her to get more recognition, because I haven't seen her in like a ton of stuff, but I feel like she is good. She just needs to have like a role that allows her to do more than just like the Darcy role, or like, because the Two Broke Girls
she was the hot one.
She was the hot one, but like also like the Darcy sass without like the intellect.
I was gonna say she was the dumb hot one.
Yeah.
And then Darcy is just, she's not even the hot one. She's just smart.
Yeah.
They don't even play up her looks
She's
at
just
all.
a genius.
Yeah. They don't play up her looks at all.
Who just happens to look like Kat Dennings, so life is unfair.
Yeah. But Anyway,
back to Sydney.
Kat Dennings should be in things.
Yeah, back to Sydney Sweeney.
So yeah, I'd only seen her in Madam Web, and I wasn't judging her performance in Madam Web. Everyone sucked in that movie.
Yeah.
But in Immaculate, she was like really good, and she had like a fucking like what felt like a 5-minute long screaming scene.
Damn.
And like one take, like it was just going and go, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And she was just full force screaming for this entire time, and I was like, oh my God.
You know what? Always. Did you watch Ready or Not?
Yeah.
I can never remember her name, but like
The blonde one.
The blonde.
That kind of reminds me of Margot Robbie, but
yes. Actually, you know she's in the Barbie movie?
Yes.
And it was a joke that they made her brunette so she didn't look as much as Margot Robbie.
Yep.
In that movie specifically.
They're making a sequel to that movie.
To Barbie?
With her. No. With
Ready or Not?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. But how can you do a sequel? Everyone's dead. Except for her.
Well, yeah, but she's alive.
I guess, but like what? She's marrying into another fucked up family? Because that would actually be funny.
Is it Ready or Not?
That would be funny if that was the plot. She finds another demonic family.
Yes, it is. It is in the works with her.
Curious. But yeah, she in that movie, when I tell you, you can feel every scream in your gut. Mm-hmm. If you never watched it, I highly recommend it.
Well, it's the same with Pearl.
I need to watch that.
With Mia Goth. I swear to God, she like that movie is her reel. Like her acting reel.
Her demo reel?
Yeah, like she has 2 like big monologue
also,
moments.
It's X, right? As well?
Yeah.
That Pearl is the prequel to X?
Yeah, so X came out, then Pearl, and now Maxine.
Right, Maxine is coming out, or it already did?
It's coming out.
Okay.
But Pearl is like her reel. She has 2 huge like monologue big moments, and my God, like holy shit, incredible.
Yeah.
But
if you want to see really good acting, I need you to catch up with Shogun, by the way.
I know.
Because holy shit.
I also have to watch all of One Piece. I haven't even. I'm
my guy,
10 episodes in.
My guy, I need you to dedicate however far back you are. If you're on like episode,
I'm only on episode 1. I finished episode 1. I'm on episode 2 technically.
I don't like you. I need you to catch up before the finale, okay? Because next week is episode 9, and the week following is the finale.
Right.
And I intend to talk about it on this podcast.
Right, but it's also gonna be 5 weeks out from when it finishes.
I intend to talk about it on this podcast.
Well, I need to finish One Piece first.
For it to be a special.
Yeah, well, I need to.
So chippity chop.
Oh, so okay. Then yeah, I do need to watch it sooner.
Yes, hurry up because it's literally so good.
Okay, fine. But yeah, because I still need to. Have you watched any of One Piece yet?
No.
Okay, again, 44 episodes.
Yeah, I know.
And it's next week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna start tonight.
You're gonna have to start. Yeah, like I'm on episode like 10 or 12. So
what? I feel like the first 10-ish, maybe 12 episodes is so easy to burn through because it's just like, let's collect the gang.
I'm just doing a lot of other stuff too.
I guess that's fair.
I got a lot going on at the moment.
That's fair.
And also, I'm also still trying to keep up, make sure my movies don't fall behind. I also saw Roadhouse.
The new one?
Yeah.
Oh, how was it?
So bad.
Oh, I had just watched the new one the other day. Because it was, advertised.
Like how you asked, how was it? And you've seen it.
No, like, for you.
Oh, horrible.
Anyway, so I watched it, and then I think on the weekend, I watched the original one. Uh-huh. And we're watching it, and I was asking Mark, I was like, was there no rules in the 80s? Like, is everyone okay?
Why?
Like, she was just going crazy, okay?
Yeah, but the original is so much better.
I did think the original was better, and also like in this new one, I kept thinking Jake Gyllenhaal. I was like, okay, so at first I was like, he's gonna get with like the bar owner, which I don't know if I already said this to you. I might have, but how much fucking money is this woman making?
Yeah, I think we did talk about that.
Because in the original,
that she's paying him $20,000 for a month.
Because in the original, like in the original one with Patrick Swayze, they're like, oh yeah, $5,000 for the month, which was a lot of money.
Yeah.
In the 80s, but I don't think $5,000 in the 80s is equivalent to $20,000 now. I could absolutely be wrong, But like, that's insane. 20 grand for a month's work. And I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal didn't even do that much work.
That's worth almost $19,000.
Oh, so it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Wow.
In 1980 specifically.
Well, I think this movie came out in 1989, the original Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. I remember only because I looked it up.
Okay, well then it's equivalent to 12.5 thousand.
Oh, okay. So almost double then.
Yeah.
He's getting almost double in the new one.
Yeah.
Which is still absurd. But yeah, I kept like Jake Gyllenhaal in this one. I was like, this is fine. Like, I like Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor. I think he's fine as an actor, but this movie was just. I think he's good, and I
thought the fights were fucking awful.
I kind of wanted like more, if that makes sense.
The camera work made them so hard. Like, it was like they kept like, and I found out why. It kept feeling like they were using like the morph effect between camera shots, and it's because all the fights they use CGI bodies.
What?
Yeah. So that every hit, they were using CGI bodies, and I found that out. And in my review, I was like, "So apparently that's
weird.
a thing, and they should never do that again."
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever heard of that being a thing in like a fight sequence.
Yeah, no, they should never do it again.
And I noticed that too. And at first,
did you watch the crowd glitch in the very first fight?
Maybe, but maybe I wasn't like paying attention enough.
Literally,
but I believe you that it happened because there were certain moments in this new one where like visually things looked wrong on screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
also, Conor McGregor every time he was on screen looked wrong.
Okay. I need you to know
he
that
was so high on drugs.
I have never heard Conor McGregor talk. I've only seen him in pictures.
Right.
Okay. One, I did not know he was that short, which is like fine, short king, go off. But I never heard him talk, so I was not expecting this like sing-song, silly Irish man voice.
Right.
Because it does not match his body at all. And this that you were doing is incredibly accurate.
The fact that he walks like the joke swole bro walk.
But do you think he is so goofy in this movie? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know if Conor McGregor is good or bad in terms of his like social reputation, but like get your bag. But also, you must realize you look goofy.
He's not that liked.
Like, you're very muscular, yes, but you look silly.
Right.
And also, did they have to intentionally do like camera tricks to make him look not as short? Because sometimes when he was up against Jake Gyllenhaal, like he didn't seem as short as he was in other shots.
I don't think that'd be a camera trick. It would just be a.
He was on like an Apple box or something. Because it was actually distracting me how much his height was changing throughout this movie. Because in like wide body shots, you could tell he's short.
Right.
But then when he's like with other people, they make him seem like he's not as short.
Yeah.
It's that inconsistency that was messing with me. Like, at least in like Mission Impossible, they try really hard to make Tom Cruise look like a consistent 5'9".
Yeah.
Or however tall.
And then they did stop doing that in like the last two movies. I feel like they actually allowed actors to be taller than him.
He matured. He was like, you know what? I'm almost 60. I can be shorter than people.
I also saw Monkey Man.
Oh, I wanted to see that. How was it?
I think it was very good. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
How is Dev Patel? Because
he's fantastic.
I keep saying he's good, and people don't believe me.
You can tell it is a first-time director.
Because this is his first feature film, right?
Yeah. And if I were to say anything that I would like left me wanting a bit more from it, it's the camera movements were kind of hard to follow in a lot of fight scenes.
Like too fast or like disorganized, if that makes sense?
No, like it was like, yeah, I mean, like just too hard to follow. Like where it's like it was moving too quick, or like it didn't feel like it was in the right position for the shot or something. And to be fair, I did hear that there was a lot of stuff that happened in the shooting, so that might attribute to it. But overall, I still think it was great. And after seeing that movie, I went, this was really good. But there is absolutely a diamond in there, and I really hope what he does next, he just takes everything from this
and like
just
elevates.
Because it's so close. And I'm like, whatever comes next, I can just like see it being phenomenal.
I need you to know I have been waiting for Dev Patel to pop off into like A-list stardom.
He was so good in this movie.
Since,
also, this movie says trans rights.
Since live action Last Airbender, because I don't know that he was in a lot of American projects. Well, he was in Life of Pi, right?
You know, somebody else asked me that, and I couldn't remember if that was him. One sec.
I feel like it is him, but also if it's not, I'm gonna feel really bad for assuming it was.
It's not.
Damn it!
I didn't think it was. That's why
I don't know why, but in my brain,
in my brain, I always did think
in my
it was
brain,
him.
I've always thought it was him, but I've never been sure. I'm very sorry. But yeah, like, because he's good in the OG skins, like the UK version, and then unfortunately with Last Airbender, not really his fault.
Yeah, not really.
But I feel like because that was, I think, his like big step into like American media,
right,
outside of the UK, which like did not help him. But I'm like, I know he's a good actor. Like, he can do more.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for him to pop off. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping this will like help him to like rise up to that status that I feel like he deserves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I this movie is an incredible first go, and I am very, very excited to see him
progress.
Yeah, whatever he does after this. I hope it's another action movie. I hope that he's
John Wick 5.
Yeah, I just hope that he goes in whole hog on the action thing, because I think this is a diamond in the rough, and I think the next can absolutely just be a diamond.
Okay.
I really, really like the movie, and if there was any other thing I'd say I was wanting a little more out of, I think the pacing is at times a tad slow. But past that, honestly, that's more of a nitpick than anything else.
Right. I think I should go watch this movie.
So
I really wanted to. Like, I remember when I saw the ads on TV and stuff. Like, it looks like it's good.
No,
Does that make sense?
I really liked it. Yeah. Did you watch Wish yet?
Oh yes, I watched it the other day.
Okay, we'll go a little over.
Oh, sorry.
For this.
Real quick on Wish.
Please tell me you thought it was terrible.
It was not good.
Okay. Because I give it a 2 out of 5.
It was really actually a bizarre experience in that it's the basic length of any other Disney animated feature film.
Yep.
But it felt like it was rushing the entire time.
Sure did.
I don't know if it's just because it was like...
They had to fit so many references into everything.
Not only that, I think the main problem, like, I thought the references were cute and nice. I appreciated the references.
Her friends are the 7 dwarves.
Here's the thing. One, I did not like any of the friends. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, especially like the little grumpy friend.
The one that's grumpy.
Literally a piece of shit from start to finish. Uh-huh. Did literally nothing for this movie. Did not like him. The other friend who like betrays them and then gets an instant redemption out of nowhere. Did not like him. The fucking talking goat.
Alan Tudyk. Yeah.
I like Alan Tudyk as a performer.
Sure do. But I thought that was.
But I needed this talking goat to not talk. Like, he was way cuter when he didn't talk.
Yeah. The star was cute though.
The star was cute, but a kind of annoying and just there. And the star didn't even talk. Yeah. And I was annoyed by it. It didn't even have any dialogue.
Right.
The queen had literally zero presence in this movie, was completely useless.
They really should have kept her. Apparently the original plan was to dual villain.
Right, like a duo, like king and queen.
It would have been the first time it would have ever been
And supposedly they were supposed to have like a duet villain song.
Yeah. That would have been way more interesting.
What a letdown. Also, because I didn't know that the king was Chris Pine. So when I first heard his voice, I was like, is that Chris Pine?
I know Chris Pine can sing too, but I thought his song was absolutely the weakest.
His song, it's weird because every song felt...
His duet song is good.
With her.
His solo song is bad.
His solo song I didn't like, mainly because I felt like there was no energy.
Yeah, like, again, he can sing. I've heard him sing.
And
it's just,
I think it was a combination of things. And, like, I think the lure to evil, if you will, was not strong enough. I felt like the visuals weren't impactful enough.
Yeah.
It felt like a ripoff of You're Welcome from Moana. Mm-hmm. But like You're Welcome is so like high energy and fast and like has creative visuals, where this just felt a little stale in comparison.
Right. And
I do think I noticed this actually with basically all the songs, is they're all weirdly wordy. Mm-hmm. They keep singing in complete proper sentences, and it was actually really bothering me because I'm like, yeah, technically what you were singing makes sense,
right?
But in a song structure, you don't need to have this kind of like exact sentence structure. You can change things around because it's a song.
Yeah.
It's more interpretive.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be so literal with every single thing you're saying.
Yeah.
Like you can use analogies and metaphors because it's a song.
Right.
They were just like, it was, the songs were really too wordy in my opinion and clunky. And I don't know. I think the visual style, it looked bad. I'm sorry.
It did. I didn't like the style they went for.
It's weird because
also, as a celebration, I really wish it was 2D.
Here's my thing. I don't even care that it wasn't 2D, but I don't like that they tried to have their cake and eat it too, in the sense of they wanted 3D models.
Right.
But then you put in these weird 2D finishes on it. Mm-hmm. As your textures.
Yeah.
And they are fighting against each other so much to the point where it's distracting. Like, this is exactly what you don't want to do, whether you're in 3D or 2D animation, because you want everything to feel like it fits in the same frame and world.
Yeah.
So it's seamless. Mm-hmm. This is the opposite of seamless. Like, it actually was a problem the entire time. And it's weird because I think Asha has like the most distracting character model out of all of them, which I'm like, your main character looks the worst? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
She did have a good singing voice though.
I thought so too.
I think all of the songs are really good except for the one Chris Pratt one.
I thought the duet between her and Chris Pratt.
Chris Pine, sorry.
Oh my God. Yes,
sorry.
Chris Pine. Not the worst Chris. Sorry.
Not the worst Chris.
Sorry. But yeah. I thought their duet was really good. I actually loved the way their voices harmonized. It sounded beautiful. I was like, this is the energy I need in terms of like vocal delivery, visuals on the screen, what you are singing, because you don't need to give me an essay in a song.
Yeah.
You know, like if that was the presentation the whole movie, and that was the only one where I felt like, you know, that Disney magic, you know, that spark.
Yeah.
But everything else kind of fell flat. The movie is incredibly rushed, which is weird because
I also don't think the story is just any.
Well, the story. Here's the thing. Because right away, this story, they fucked up on their own. Okay, right. It's not like Asha is curious and mischievous, but has a good heart, right?
Right.
She has a good heart and is quirky, but okay, all your current Disney girlies are quirky.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Kind of could have done without it. Actually, it would have been more refreshing if she wasn't quirky. Okay?
Right.
But here's the problem I have with this movie. Everyone in this fucking kingdom wants to have their wish granted. The king, who's like 1 inch from being evil, decides, oh, you are my last interviewee of the day for an apprenticeship with me, the king. Mm-hmm. I am so blown away by basically your existence, even though Asha at that point had done literally nothing to impress him. Mm-hmm. Let me show you the wishes. Nothing could possibly go wrong with this.
Yeah. It's like, I also didn't understand the reason behind giving the wishes. It didn't feel like a very strong reason that people would have accepted.
No, it was literally so fucking stupid. Like
I don't think anyone would have been there and been like, yeah, well, yeah, that's fine. Oh, we'll give out wishes. Like, it didn't feel like it made sense.
that's the thing. I feel like the connection was really weak.
I think the story was just uninspired.
It was uninspired, but also like the through line of like wishing and making a wish.
Yeah.
It just wasn't conveyed well enough, if that makes sense. Because when everyone gets, also like the mom's wish gets crushed, and then I shit you not, like, because the conflict, if you will, happens at like an hour, and then the resolution is at like an hour and 15 minutes.
Right.
Hello? But yeah, so the mom's wish gets destroyed, but then 15 minutes later, she's like, oh, he's back.
Yep.
What? How the fuck did that happen?
Well, because they all got released from him. Because he absorbed them.
But it's just, I'm like, what the fuck?
Also,
What's going on?
Apparently, her wish was just that she wanted her daughter to be happy.
Stupid wish.
Which is wild, because unless she had her kid before 18, how would she know that you know?
Well, maybe she just meant like a kid.
A kid.
You know.
Just a kid.
Whatever kid popped out of me. Yeah, I want them to be happy.
For a celebration of 100 years of animation, it's wild that it's so lifeless and lacking of imagination.
Yeah. It's weird, too, because, like, I feel like Encanto, which only came out, like, a few years ago, does encompass that, like, Disney magic.
Yeah. It just feels like this movie's like a slap in the face to what's come before.
It's just, for me, I'm like, you have a infinite pool of wealth and knowledge and creativity at your fingertips.
Yep.
Because truly, I think if Disney wanted to tell any story, no matter how like high budget, insane scale, whatever, but the people behind it were like, no, like this is a story we have to tell with our lens.
Yeah.
They could do it and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Right? But instead they choose for their 100th anniversary to spit out a movie that's an amalgamation of like all the Disney classics.
Yeah.
But with none of like the charm and spirit that the other movies have.
It comes off like a soulless cash grab. And like I saw a review on Letterboxd that I thought was funny, which is Wish is the trust fund baby of the Disney movies.
Wish, you know what it is Wish is weird. It's almost like a movie that a separate studio would have made trying to rip off Disney.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You remember in like the 90s and early 2000s, all these other studios
Disney
would
movies.
make like knockoff Disney movies?
Yep.
That's what it feels like.
It does. You're totally right. It's
weird coming from Disney.
Yeah. No, it's weird.
Like if you were like, yeah, this is a DreamWorks take on a Disney movie, I would believe it.
Yeah.
No shade to DreamWorks, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, or Death Wish, whatever it was, fucking fire.
Death Wish.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, not very good.
But my Disney watch through was officially done. Was waiting for that movie to be released because I didn't want to pay for it.
Yeah, samesies. That's why I was waiting for it to come out on Disney Plus.
Yeah. All right. Well, time to wrap up, I think.
Yeah.
So we will see you guys next week for whatever it is we talk about. Well, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, like, follow. Check out Kat at the Moonstar on Twitch. And you have 4 weeks to watch Konosuba Season 1. So, yeah. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.